Coming up next, top of the hour on CBS Sports Network. Back down to the U.S. Virgin Islands, Montana, and NC State, 6 Eastern here on the network. Dennis Smith, wow, coming off an ACL tear. Looks like he's going to come back with a vengeance. Montana 0-2, looking for their first win against 2-0 NC State. Coming up next on CBS Sports Network from the Virgin Islands at the Paradise Jam. Montana's leading scorer is Ahmad Rory, 15.5 points per game, looking for their first win. They got a test with NC State coming up top of the hour from the Paradise Jam of the Virgin Islands here on CBS Sports Network. 41 points. DeAndre Burnett. What does NC State and Montana, what do they do for an encore? That first one went into overtime, got into the 90s. Looking forward to this matchup in about 10 minutes on CBS Sports Network. More to come. John, that's BJ Anya.
BJ Anya, mountain masquerading as a man.
NC State. He's at 5-2, and he's going to be the big man in the middle taking on Montana. He doesn't miss. He's a big guy.
Space eater.
He takes advantage of every opportunity. That's great. How about earlier on CBS Sports Network? The most points scored in a game this year. DeAndre Burnett for Ole Miss had 41 against Oral Roberts, who went to overtime. Under 40 seconds to play. This is Burnett with the 3. It would go to OT, tied at 79. Now this time he draws defenders and gets a kick out.
And this is what you do whenever you can score the basketball. They have to show you attention, and he kicks it out for Neal, able to hit the trifecta deal, and Ole Miss looking good.
Under a minute to play, Ole Miss, so the breakup 5. Burnett cleans up the glass. He was 9 of 12 from downtown, 12 of 19 overall, 41 points. Now St. Joe's and Ole Miss will play Sunday at 6 Eastern in one of the semifinals. The second semi here on CBS Sports Network at 8:30. It'll be the winner of our next game, Montana, NC State, and then Creighton, Washington State, which is interesting. Creighton coming off that win over Wisconsin. Quickly, Swin, I was just going to get a quick thought on this next game, NC State, Montana, and the idea of playing in these holiday tournaments. As a player, you love them, right?
Yeah, you love them. You love the atmosphere, but it's about winning the game. So I think for NC State, they have this advantage inside. They're going to come out, try to set a tone, definitely with their big guys.
Maverick Rowan, a name to remember. Put it in bold, Brent.
John Rothstein, Swin Cash. After the break, the tip-off. We'll see you back here at halftime.
Welcome to Paradise here on St. Thomas in the U.S. Virgin Islands. Paradise Jam. Montana, out of the Big Sky, has made the long trip down for the tournament, taking on the high-flying Wolfpack and NC State's talented freshman class. The road to the dance starts in Paradise.
Michael Jordan.
Gorgeous day, transitioning to evening at the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. We are on St. Thomas at the University of Virgin Islands. We've got Montana and NC State, the third game of a 4-game opening round day at the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. Fun-filled day already. St. Joseph's got past Loyola. Tournament record 41 points for DeAndre Burnett, paced Ole Miss in overtime. Then the winner of this game gets the winner of Creighton and Washington State. Thanks for joining us tonight, Darren Goldwater and Kevin Lehman. If the rest of the games in this tournament are anything like Ole Miss and Oral Roberts, we're going to be just fine.
Well, overtime thriller, but we've got a team, the Grizz, that one of the marquee programs, Montana, in the Big Sky against the tradition-rich North Carolina State Wolfpack.
And the Grizz are going to have to contend with one of the best freshman classes in the country and maybe the best individual freshman, Dennis Smith.
Well, Dennis Smith is getting high accolades. He's on every watch list, just a freshman, preseason ACC pick. He only has 2 turnovers over 60 minutes of play, but they're going to be counteracted. The Grizz has Ahmad Rory, the transfer from Oregon. He's used to the big lights. 21 points in their loss at USC.
Well, NC State comes in. They are not fully staffed. For more on that, the third member of our crew, Monica Jonigan.
That's right, guys. This NC State front court is going to look a lot different when conference play comes around. That's because B.J. Anya is going to have to pick up the slack for his Wolfpack's two big guys missing. A 7-footer, Omir Yurtseven from Turkey, is not here in the Paradise Jam. Also, Ted Kapita, also the 6'9" player in the front court, is also not here. So B.J. Anya, he's 6'9", 320 pounds. Look for every bit of that body to be clogging up the middle for the Wolfpack tonight, guys.
Monica furthering that, Maverick Rowan, also not available, continues to be out with an injury. The road to the dance, it starts in Paradise for Montana and NC State.
College basketball on CBS Sports Network is sponsored by the U.S. Virgin Islands is not just a vacation, it's Virgin Islands nice. Learn more and visit USVI.com. By NBA 2K17, available now, rated everyone. And by Inada, Japanese maker of full-body massage chairs. Begin your extraordinary Inada journey with a visit to InadaUSA.com.
Here we go from the University of Virgin Islands, third game of our 4-game day. Wolfpack trying to make it 3-0, and Montana with their toughest schedule in school history. And all Division I schedule continues their tough trek with this NC State Wolfpack crew. Monica already set the stage for you for NC State as we get a look at the starting lineup. They do have Anya in there. For Montana, keep an eye on Walter Wright. Slow start for Walter Wright. They need him to get going.
Walter Wright was preseason All-Big Sky pick. He knocked in 47 threes last year. He's 0 for 6 in these first 2 games. He needs a big game tonight for the Grizz.
He's 0 for 6 from downtown. NC State can't buy a 3 in their first 2 games. We'll see if that changes. There will be a similarity with what we just saw from Oral Roberts and Ole Miss. Montana, like Oral Roberts, might play a little bit of that pack line D to try and contain the athleticism and the size of NC State.
They're going to play a lot of pack line D, try to plug up the driving lanes and make NC State beat it from the outside.
They're going to get the ball out of Dennis Smith's hands. Right back into it. Good strategy. 5-star recruit, a likely lottery pick in the NBA draft, probable one and done for Dennis Smith Jr. Here's Anya handing it off to Torin Dorn, and we're underway.
That dribble handoff with Anya, that big size, takes up space. Dorn able to come with the top for an easy jumper.
Dorn, one of the transfers here for NC State. At one point was the Conference USA Freshman of the Year before transferring here. First year with the Wolfpack.
Well, Dorn is a special player, explosive, can score in and out.
There's Rory starting to create. Lopez on the kick. And a 3 for Jack Lopez, the senior out of Australia.
Well, Mark Godfrey's concern was the 3-ball by Montana. They get burnt on the first possession.
Don't you love it as a head coach? You've been talking to your guys for 3 days about one specific thing in the first possession.
And that's the first thing Coach Godfrey told us yesterday when we talked to him was, we got to take away the 3-ball from Montana, because although they haven't shot it well this year, history shows they can fill it up.
Most of the guys on the floor can shoot it. Here's Wright. Drops one down inside. This is Krizlovic.
And no double team on Krizlovic. They're going to let Anya handle him one-on-one.
Here's Rory. Anya slid out on him, missed it badly. There's the putback from Krizlovic.
Krizlovic gets the free lane to the hoop as Anya had to come out and hedge the screen.
Grizz have 5 points from 2 men who both hail from Australia, all the way to Missoula.
You see that pack line defense. They're in the gaps.
It baited Dorn into it, but he scores over him.
Dorn is so athletic and explosive. Can get in any seam.
There's the pull-up from Wright. That's a great sign. He had started 1 out of 11 in his first 2 games.
So they need a big game out of Walter Wright, as we mentioned in the open. Special player for the Grizz.
Grizzlies aren't going to back away from anybody. They've played Southern Cal, they've played Wyoming. They played them both tough. Smith with the lob, the finish from Abu.
And Travis DeCure, we talked about Mark Godfrey getting hit by the three. He told his team, if you let him in the gap, they're going to throw it over the top and dunk on you. Just what he said was going to happen, happened.
So both coaches are right on it. It's a matter of whether the players can respond.
It's all about execution, Darren, execution.
Same spot for Lopez, Anya Carousel. Here's Smith, the transition three for the freshman out of Fayetteville, North Carolina.
That's his first triple of the year. He has struggled from the perimeter, done everything else well.
Travis DeCure said, we're going to make him shoot from three. He hasn't made one yet, and hopefully it doesn't start today.
But Dennis Smith Jr. came in here 0 for 7 from the arc. Confidence builder to knock in the first of this game.
Travis DeCure is an impressive young man. Third-year coach and a Montana grad, still the all-time assist leader with the Grizz. His staff is one of the youngest in the country. And you're going to start seeing his name pop up on a lot of the watch lists when coaching changes start happening towards the end of the year, especially if he can put together a good one here.
Well, in the first 2 seasons, he goes 41-15, 28-8 in the Big Sky, one of the marquee programs.
How about the keys to victory for Travis DeCure first?
Well, we talked about the gap defense. He needs defenders in the gap. The pack line stop the dribble drive, and they got to battle these big Wolfpack dudes on the boards and for NC State. We said it, guard the arc. And they got to manage minutes because you talk about the open, they're down some frontline players. So Mark Godfrey's got to manage the minutes, especially with his post players.
A lot of expectations for Dennis Smith. He is filling the role left by Cat Barber, but he's a very different player than Cat Barber was, who left after his junior year and is now in the D-League.
Well, and Smith got hurt during his senior year of high school, so he entered NC State at semester, so he was with the team from last January on. Got a head start on some other freshmen.
Because he needed the head start, right? Rory cut off by Henderson. Smith closing out on right, the blow by and the finish.
And they need that out of Walter Wright. Knocks in the jumper and then goes right to the rim.
And then Smith, after getting beaten on the defensive end, turns it over. Wright again with a sweet finish with the right hand.
And Travis DeCure, we asked him about Walter Wright's slow start to this season. He said, I am not worried.
Minutes were down, but it was really because they fell down. He was in foul trouble. And then 2 freshmen came in, and they were hot, so we went with the hot hand. He's more than doubled his point total in 2 games, by the way. Put back and a foul. Darius Hicks, first time in the game, and the freshman out of Massachusetts will be at the line when we bring you back here to the Paradise Jam. Kevin Lehman told you, Walter Wright needs to get going. 6 points early for the Grizz. Fast start here. Teams have combined to go 9 out of 13 from the floor in the first 4 minutes. Covering everything from the field through fantasy, Tops puts a fresh spin on your football Sunday. Join our team of experts Sunday morning, 9 Eastern, for that other pregame show right here on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Well, the guard play, which is what we focused on to start this game, has been the focal point here for the first stanza of the game, Kevin.
2-point guards, Walter Wright with 6. Dennis Smith Jr. answered with 6 of his own. And now you got Hicks at the line. Hicks has to step up for the Wolfpack because of the 3 players who are missing. Opportunity for Hicks to shine.
If you're just joining us and missed it, Maverick Rowan still out with concussion-like symptoms. Omer Yurtseven has a 9-game ineligibility from the NCAA. He'll begin his career on December 15th. And Capita did not travel with the Wolfpack. They're in the process of updating paperwork required to travel outside of the U.S. They didn't want to take a chance. No issue with Capita. So this will be a very different looking team really in a week and then certainly down the line.
And Capita didn't play in the Georgia State game, but came back against St. Francis with 17 points, 8 rebounds in 24 minutes. Special player, Ted Capita.
Here's Wright. That was a forced 3, and it was blocked away by Apu. Dorn lost it off his heel.
You can see how packed in those gray jerseys are. That everybody inside the three-point line, all eyes on the basketball.
Boo drove right into it, into the chest of the redshirt freshman Samuelson. And Abu earns himself a trip to the line.
Well, you can see it in that pack line. Look at all those eyeballs on the basketball, but still, the strength of Abu takes it right to the rim.
He tested out the NBA waters after last year. Basically said he needs to learn to put the ball on the floor a little bit more, which is what you just saw. Better jumper.
Well, 6'8", 210 pounds out of Boston. He has the look of an NBA player, and of course, he calls himself the beardless James Harden.
Yes, but his coach wants him to be more like Dennis Rodman than James Harden. Good find from the top of the key. Underneath, there's the finish from Saeed Pridgett, another freshman.
Saeed Pridgett, huge upside. Big catch for the Grizz on that recruit. And nice little rub play. Flex cut off the baseline for an easy basket.
Hicks finds Dorn curling over there to the wing.
We're going to see NC State, like that last possession, do a lot of entries to their post players at the elbow. Takes away help side defense.
NC State wants to stick primarily in a man, but they're really only 7 or 8 deep here today. And on the inside, there's the other freshman, Samuelson.
And Samuelson had to step up here because of the broken hand. Michael Ogina is out.
Terry Henderson out of Raleigh, but first went to West Virginia before returning home to play for the Pack.
And got hurt in the first game last year, so this has almost been 2 seasons since Henderson has been on the court.
Yeah, totally new NC State team, not just the freshman class.
He's got the 2 transfers coming in, and of course the heralded freshman class that you talked about. This is a really talented NC State team and picked 6th in the tough ACC conference, and they lost a lot of points, a lot of rebounding off last year's squad, but there's a respect of that freshman class.
That's what's so interesting about this NC State team, how Mark Gottfried has reinvented it a little bit with what they lost. And the prognostication for the Wolfpack, they're all over the map, but most agree they're a top 30 team.
They're receiving votes right on the edge. And Gottfried, excellent job rebuilding that program. 4 NCAA trips in a row, and then last year not in the tournament. This team's got the look of an NCAA tournament team.
There's Hicks traveling with it. He wanted another freshman, Johnson, cutting on the baseline.
In Montana, they've had to battle their arch enemy, Weber State, in the Big Sky. Has lost to them the last 2 years in the tournament, postseason tournament. Therefore, they have not gotten a taste of the NCAA.
But despite it, 21 wins last year, 14-4 in the league. And they've started 0-2, but they're better than that record.
Well, this is a marquee program. Montana basketball has been excellent for years.
We've had 3 consecutive traveling violations in the last 3 trips combined for both teams there.
Well, one of the new directives are giving the offense so much space that they're going to tighten it up and not allow any shuffling of the feet. So these officials are really concentrating on the pivot foot. You're going to see more and more traveling calls this season.
Freshman guards out there. Here's Johnson, 4-star guard out of Ohio. Smith directs traffic, backs his way out of that double team.
Well, it's a man-to-man by the Grizz, but almost look like a zone because they're packed in so tight.
Here comes Rory, hustling up the floor without the numbers. Count it. And one opportunity for Ahmad Rory, who transferred in from Oregon.
Well, just the sophomore, he's out of Tacoma, Washington. You can see his explosiveness. 27 in an exhibition and came back with a huge game against USC. Change the direction and crossover. Soft off the window.
talk about the NC State freshman class. You talk about newcomers in the Big Sky. Most people believe Rory could very well be the newcomer of the year in that league.
Then you add in the freshman, Saeed Pridgett. They recruit some bigger name schools to get that young man.
Travis DeCure was all over him when he was an assistant at Cal. And then managed to get him over there to Missoula, but he doesn't credit himself. He credits Chris Cobb, associate head coach.
You see the double down on the post. Get the ball out of Anya's hands. They're going to give up the 3 ball to NC State.
.320-pound Anya working against Samuelson. Did a great job. He sealed off the baseline. Torin Dorn, defense sagging off on him, buries it over Mario Dunn.
Well, Dorn and Henderson are so effective in transition. You have to meet them earlier and get the ball stopped, and it's difficult to do. The new rules and the more emphasis on freedom of movement.
Here's Rory. Henderson was screened away on the baseline, and Anya rips it down with his right hand.
Anya takes up so much space.
Henderson lost the handle. 18 all out of the Big Sky, the Grizz and the Wolfpack of NC State. Third game of the day for the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. The award for the best tropical shirts so far for a coaching staff goes to Montana. The other unique part about the Montana coaching staff, keeping it in the family. This is something that I think most fans don't realize. The coaching tree, Montana fans certainly do, but how about these names from Montana?
It has been a hotbed of coaches. You start out with Judd Heathcote, who lost to UCLA in '76 by 3 as they went on to win the championship. And then he goes to Michigan State as a guy named Magic Johnson and wins a championship of his own. His assistant, Brandenburg. Montgomery was Brandenburg's assistant. It goes down the line, and Travis DeCure, he played for Blaine Taylor, was recruited by Stu Morrill. So you talk about a long line of great coaches. Montana has produced them.
And they look out for their own. Wherever they go, they end up filling their staff with other guys who've been around Montana. And now DeCure reinventing that tree. He's gone with a lot of guys from his past.
But you talk about all in the family. That is a family affair.
Dennis Smith out of control. It's an offensive foul.
Godfrey not happy on that call.
Well, that's his second foul.
Yeah, Mark Godfrey is given an earful to Bernard Clinton. Bernard's staying over here by us. He's not going to go near that NC State bench.
Ball reversal to G. Feller. Now it's Ahmad Rory. Montana taking time off that shot clock each possession.
Well, you're seeing NC State switch 1 through 4 on the perimeter.
Markel Johnson fires one ahead to Torin Dorn.
That is what the Wolfpack wants to do. Use their defense to create offense.
Wright had Anya with him, so it's out to Rory for 3, and Montana grabs the lead.
Walter Wright has been phenomenal to start this game and find his teammate, Ahmad Rory.
Abu goes into the chest of Jack Lopez. You can count it for Abu.
Trying to create some offense with your defense. Look at the speed here of NC State as Dorn gets out ahead of the pack. Punches one through, and then what a kick out to Rory. Step in 3 ball, assist, Walter Wright.
About the start for Wright. He scores early, now he's distributing. Montana's at 9 of 15. Boo's got the three-point play.
And the defense, difference in the defense, you got the packed in of the Grizz, and NC State, they're out there with those long wingspans. Now we look like we got another zone.
Markel Johnson read the eyes of Rory and finishes.
Travis DeCure out there on the floor. He was in the middle of that play.
Oh, we saw him yesterday in practice. Trust me, he could put on the shorts and shoes and get right on this floor. Mark Gottfried has just picked up a technical after the offensive foul from Montana.
Well, he's still upset about the earlier call that Bernard Clinton made. And they gave Smith picked up his second about 5 minutes ago, and long memory there by Mark Gottfried.
Still wants Bernard to come and talk to him. And Bernard goes to the other end of the floor. So Walter Wright will take the free throws.
Now Mark's giving him the stare down.
Eight points now for Wright.
Coach Godfrey was pretty relaxed in practice yesterday. Joined the Islands. He's got his coaching hat on today, all fired up.
Him and Travis DeCure were about polar opposites in practice yesterday. DeCure getting after it with a whistle in his mouth, running the offense with his team. Abu connects once again. 9 points now for Malik Abu.
Well, Smith was averaging over 31 minutes a game. Picked up that early second foul now on the bench.
There's a follow from Krislovic, but it all started with the penetration, the fearlessness of Wright. Montana's gonna run. They'll pick their spots, and Rory decides this isn't one of them. Timeout for Montana. Well, this has been a fun start. Teams have combined for a 24-32 start to the game. 17th year of this U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. Easy to get down here to St. Thomas. Gorgeous hotels to stay at. Great arena here. Teams want to come, and you know what? You should want to watch. The last game had 18 ties and 14 lead changes before Ole Miss won in overtime. This one's been tied once, but the leads changed hands 8 times already.
And this game's setting up to be two contrasting styles. But now watch this play here with Coach DeCure. He's out there on the court, setting the screen on his own man. Johnson takes it in.
So how's that going to get graded in the film?
Well, usually afterwards you have the good, the bad, and the ugly in your film sessions. Now I'm not sure where you put Coach, because he basically screened his own player out of the play. Active on his feet, though. You know, he could have picked up a charge.
Well, he can move. Out of the timeout, Wright still looking back to the bench for the play. There's 4 seconds on the shot clock. He'll hoist it up. That's not what you want out of the timeout. That'll be a foul here on Brandon G. Feller. Check in with Monica.
Hey guys, the Grizz may not have gotten what they wanted out of the timeout, but Coach Godfrey did. He said, we're going back to man. The one thing I want is for everyone to crash the boards when the shot goes up. One thing that is unacceptable, according to Coach, is that they get second shots. There will be no offensive rebounds if Coach gets his way, guys.
Well, he's got to be concerned. Montana has started out pretty hot. Both teams have.
Well, they're going to switch 1 through 4 NC State, so if you see Krislovic screen on the ball, it gives him an opportunity to dive to the front of the rim without a block out, because Anya gets caught out there on that screen.
The active hands of Markel Johnson and the easy two.
And Johnson's going to get a lot of minutes here in the first half as Dennis Smith Jr. picked up the second foul early.
Yeah, we talked about the wrong freshman point guard, didn't we? Here comes Henderson off the deflection. Johnson, a little bit of a head fake, had the baseline and turned it down. Henderson steps into the three.
Well, if you're Montana, you got to squeeze the orange. Too many turnovers, leading to runouts by the Wolfpack.
Grizzlies now from the top of the key. Abu and Dorn, two teammates, knock it across the end line.
Here's some defense again, leading to some offense. Johnson just picks his pocket. Markel, the freshman. Easy basket for the Wolfpack.
7 minutes on the floor for Johnson. 2 steals, 2 assists, 4 points.
Monica talked about that timeout talk. Godfrey, we're going to play man-to-man. We're getting the passing lanes. We're going to disrupt this offense.
Dennis Smith back in. Johnson getting a bit of a breather here. 6.5 to go in the opening half. Wright can't find any space. The length bothering him, and he buries it over Dorn.
Oh, huge step back move by Wright, the senior.
I guess Travis DeCure was right when he said he wasn't worried about Walter Wright.
I was thinking the same thought, and he has played well.
And he's going to turn it over here, trying to work through that double team. He stepped on the baseline.
We specifically asked Coach DeCure what is wrong with Walter Wright, and he said nothing. He'll be okay. He has faith in his players, and big time move right there by Walter Wright.
Yeah, that's 5'10", stepping back over length, and 6'5" with Torrin Dorn. Dennis Smith caught up in the air, and he turns it over again. Here's Saeed Pridgett with a nice finish to tie the game.
Well, smart move by the Frosh to cross over the last minute. No ability to block. And now we have Smith has re-entered the game with 2 fouls. Dennis Smith Jr. The freshman from Raleigh.
Hasn't been able to get in the flow because of those early fouls.
Excuse me, he's from Fayetteville.
Yeah, but you were half right because he grew up as a Wolfpack fan, lifelong.
Just down the road.
I think B.J. Anya is going to have that all day if he wants it, backing his way down.
Well, B.J. Anya is what we call in Iowa, where I'm from, barn strong.
Not country strong, it's down to barn strong in Iowa, huh? So he affects that shot. Dennis Smith with the head up. Glides it up there himself. Here's Dorn now from the elbow.
The Dorn is mid-range jumper. Rises up. That's where he excels.
Largest lead of the day was NC State, a 5-point lead. Montana held a 3-point edge early on.
See that switch on the perimeter by Wolfpack.
Quick catch and release with the hook for Krislovic.
Krislovic just lulled Anya to sleep, and a quick flash across. B.J. Anya couldn't recover in time. If you're Montana, you're going to move the big man. Anya, you're going to keep trying to move him around with ball screens on the perimeter.
The double comes. He almost turned it over. Dorn saves it. There's the turnover. Montana is undersized and out of the big sky. The mid-major hanging tough, looking strong. Points from Walter Wright, the leading returning scorer for Montana, has them within 2. Stick around with us at halftime of the 2016 U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam for AT&T at the half on CBS Sports Network. Alongside Kevin Lehman, I'm Darren Goldwater. Coach, 18 points in the paint for Montana. That surprises me. How about you?
Well, they've been able to pull the big man, BJ Anya, out of the lane with ball screens, and it's kind of opened it up. And also North Carolina State trying to so aggressive on the perimeter. There are driving lanes, and we've seen what Walter Wright can do if you give him a little space. He's like he's on skates, glides right through the defense.
Travis DeCure comes with his freshman super subs here with less than 4 to go. He comes with Pridgett and Samuelson off the bench, so Wright gets a little bit of a breather.
Now 10 turnovers by Montana. That is not a good sign. I said they have to squeeze the orange. You can't allow fast break points. This Montana or NC State team.
Here's Pridgett, sweet little up and under, and ties the game.
Well, he had offers from Creighton, who's in this tournament, Oregon State, but wanted to be a Grizz. And you talk about the relationship that Travis DeCure formed with that young man early.
A couple of teams really got in on him late, but because of what DeCure had formed with him, the relationship when he was at Cal first, the family felt more comfortable.
There you go, Pridgett off the bench, averaging over 10 a game, shooting over 50%. And you said it, man, he's going to be one of the leaders for freshman of the year in the Big Sky.
Pretty similar to the play they ran last time down, except this time he goes with the right-handed hook.
You can see his great skill set. Number 4, Pridgett, keep an eye on him. 6'5", he can post up at mid-range. Ability to shoot it, a little half hook, the face-up jumper, and excellent in transition.
He will be a force in the Big Sky, tough to handle.
Oh, what's this move? This is what we call a mid-range post-up. And as a defender, you got to keep your hands off. Pridgett just backs him in. Uses his left shoulder to shield, scores it.
Henderson got caught up underneath, then he's bailed out. He'll be going to the line.
We've talked a number of times about the new rules, and what you see Pridgett doing that last play is a great example. As a defender, it's really difficult now. You cannot invade the cylinder of that offensive player. Would teach a bunch of my players that mid-range post-up, just have them turn and face.
Kevin alluded to it before. Henderson sat out after transferring from West Virginia. Comes back, starts game 1 last year, and injures his ankle 6 minutes in. So he basically sat 2 full years.
And he was no slouch at West Virginia. Averaged 12 a game. Knocked in 47 threes for Bob Huggins and the Mountaineers.
Running this offense through the post and Pridgett. Johnson got a hand on it. It still finds his teammate across the lane, and he travels with it.
Well, Darren, that's an excellent point. They're using their guard to post up, and they got 3-point shooters around the arc. So NC State can't double Pridgett in there. Excellent offensive concept by Travis DeCure.
I think it's the first time now in this game that he's got Wright, Rory, and Pridgett on the floor together. He's gone a little bit smaller, has Montana. Henderson trying to back down Rory.
And it's smaller, but it gives them quickness.
Bothering him a little bit here. BJ Anya with the left hand, man. All that size, you just can't keep him away from the rim. Right with the no-look underneath. Anya with the rejection. Still Montana earned some free throws. Samuelson heading there. Monica, what do you have for us?
God, when you look at BJ Anya down low, he's doing exactly what Coach Godfrey told him in practice and also in huddle. He says, look, when you get that low in the paint, you have to be confident. You have to assert yourself. No one's going to stop that big body if you have the confidence and aggressiveness to use it properly, guys.
Big body and a 7'9" wingspan.
Look at that move right there. Just able to protect with his left shoulder and just muscle it into the glass. He's going to have to play a lot of minutes today, Darren, because we talked about it. Ted Capita not on this trip. Ymir, you're 7, not eligible to December 15th. So the big man, get a lot of minutes today.
Wolfpack fans are salivating for Yurt 7 to become eligible. Comes over from Turkey. He's already regarded. He hasn't played a collegiate game, and people are already talking about lottery pick.
Well, and we watched him practice yesterday, and certainly the skill set of the 7-footer is phenomenal.
Anya forcefully off the back rim. Walter Wright in transition, that's pretty.
Chris Loviak took the brunt of Anya's attempted dunk. He's still trying to shake it off. He took one right in the snout. Went down, just got back up.
10 first half lead changes. 47 seconds to go, and Mark Gottfried will take that use it or lose it timeout. Another fun one here from the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. Consistent theme here for NC State, the short bench because the guys who aren't here, some guys who are hurt. Anya making it count.
Fabian Krisloviak took the brunt of 345 pounds of BJ Anya. Oh, but a nice finish there by Walter Wright. He's still trying to blink that one off that left eye. He's going to have a black eye tomorrow.
Yeah, I would imagine that one hurt. What do you expect to see here out of that timeout?
Godfrey's trying to get a quick one up. He's trying to get a 2-for-1 out of this.
And he's going to get a chance to do that. Nearly stripped, it finds Abu, and he's heading to the line.
Well, that was a good timeout by Mark Godfrey because he was going to try to get a quick shot up. Get an NBA 2-for-1. Get the possession back, and that will happen because now we've got a 9-second differential shot clock and game clock.
Worked out with the Celtics in the offseason. But according to those close to the program, Mark Gottfried never really concerned that Abu would eventually come back, pull his name out. He has called this program home. Only got 1 out of 2.
Montana's going to try and run this down.
Or Rory will just hoist up the 3. Here's Henderson now with a quick 3 of his own. Abu, that's going to go against Abu. Junior out of Boston whistled for.
Well, NC State came in this game shooting just 16% from outside the arc. And that's what Travis DeCure was going to give up. The Wolfpack now 1 of 7. And Dennis Smith Jr. hit that first one of the game. They have missed 6 in a row.
And credit Travis DeCure. First one drained, sticks with the game plan, haven't hit another. Plus Dennis Smith went out with 2 quick fouls, hasn't been able to get into a rhythm. Markel Johnson has shined in his place. Another quick move for Wright, and he draws the foul.
Walter Wright had a huge Big Sky tournament at the end of last season. 50 points in 3 games. All tournament team. And he's carried that right over. Slow start this year, but he has been exceptional this first half of this game.
Played in junior college before coming out to Missoula. He was an All-American in junior college back in 2015.
152 assists last year for that young man. Number 5, you see at the free throw line.
He's among the leaders in the Big Sky. He's also top 20 in the conference in points. Yeah, he'll get a breather. Great first half for him.
And Travis bringing in Bobby Moore in the front of the press, a little more size.
Johnson lost the handle. Seconds tick off, and that's how the half ends. The free throws from Wright gives them 14 points in the half, and it gives Montana the lead on NC State through 20 minutes of action. Monica's with Travis DeCure.
Coach DeCure, great hustle to get the lead going into the half. What do you guys say about your team's scrappiness in the face of this pretty tough NC State team?
We've been concentrating on doing all the details, the small things. We're not the most athletic team. We're not the most talented team. So we got to outwork our opponent, and we've been learning.
They got some bigs down low. What are you doing to battle that big body, that 320-pound body they have there banging down low in the paint?
We're doubling a little bit, and I think that it's made them hesitant to put it in there, and then we just got to contain penetration after that.
Good luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Guys, back to you.
Defensively, they've done a very nice job. Offensively, they've hit 57% of their shots. Looking for their first win of the year. Montana's got the lead at the half. Halftime, 2016 U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam. Stick around. We send it to our New York studios. AT&T at the half. Next, CBS Sports Network.
CBS Sports presents AT&T at the half.
Welcome in, AT&T the half. Brent Stover, Swin Cash. Our insider is John Rothstein. You talk about the parity in college basketball. Montana 0-2 coming in, and they got a 2-point lead on NC State.
Yeah, you think about it, you would say, wow, mid-major going up against a team like NC State. But it really came down to both these teams coming out early, shooting the ball very well. NC State, I thought they turned it around whenever they started getting after it defensively. You had two people in Dorn and also Abu that led the way with 10 points respectively. But I think they have to go on the inside a little bit more and try to get Abu into the game and into the flow.
Both teams above 55% from the field. Big her first half for Walter Wright. The Montana Grizz out of the Big Sky came in 0-2, giving NC State more than they want. The deuce there, 40-38 Wolfpack out of the ACC down by 2 at half. Second quarterfinal game of the Paradise Jam here on CBS Sports Network was Oral Roberts taking on Ole Miss. It was an afternoon tip. The winner to get the opportunity to take on St. Joe's. Under 40 ticks left, 79-76. DeAndre Burnett drills the three, 79 all. We go to overtime. And in OT, he draws defenders here, Swin.
Yeah, his ability to penetrate the lane, because he can hit it from the outside, able to find his teammate there and Neal, and he's able to nail the three. And Ole Miss just kept rolling as overtime went on.
Career high 41 for Burnett, 9 of 12 from downtown, and most points in a single game this season across college basketball. So Ole Miss St. Joe's will be 6 Eastern Sunday on CBS Sports Network. The winner of this game that we're in right now with Montana by 2 will get the winner of Washington State Creighton, which comes up later on. All right, you're coming out of halftime, Montana, NC State. If you're Montana, you're out of the Big Sky, and you're up by 2. What's the message here coming out?
Hey, to leave it all out there on the floor. I think they have to be competitive. You saw in the first half, they weren't intimidated at all. They were running the basketball at Ole Miss. I think the thing that they have to do, excuse me, not Ole Miss, but I think the thing that NC State, yes. I think the thing they have to do is to continue to push the basketball. You want NC State to be going up and down the floor with you. If they can do that, put themselves in good position to win the game.
Two things that are synonymous with the anatomy of any upset. You want a mid-major playing with confidence, and you also want a team from a power conference to be depleted. NC State, again, came to the Virgin Islands without Ted Capita. They also don't have Maverick Rowan, who probably would have started at power forward. A shorthanded NC State team going up against a confident Montana team.
Yeah, going to be fun. John Rothstein, Swin Cash. I'm Brent Silver. That's it for AT&T the half. Second half coming up next.
Thank you for watching CBS Sports presentation of AT&T at the half.
That's the story after 20 minutes. Montana still winless on the year in their first 2 games, trying to knock off and upset the Wolfpack of NC State. Darren Goldwater, Kevin Lehman. We asked Travis DeCure yesterday, what's the first thing that you'll look at after the game? He said the bottom box, dominating.
Bottom box, points in the paint, points off turnovers, second chance opportunities. They've dominated in the first half in that area.
And one of the reasons Walter Wright's been awesome.
Walter Wright. He came this game 1 of 11 from the field, only scored 4 points in their first 2 games. He has been spectacular. He has scored with the dipsy doodle, the step back, and how about this one? The slide and glide, kiss it off the window. Walter Wright, sensational. And for NC State, Torin Dorn, Who says the mid-range jumper is dead in college basketball? I love this young man's game. The transfer from UNC Charlotte, redshirt sophomore, pull-up jumper, 10 points for the Wolfpack.
Moments ago, Monica spoke with his head coach, Mark Gottfried.
Coach Gottfried, you've got 2 players in double figures, but the stat that jumped out to me is they're beating you. That scrappy team is beating you on the boards. What did you tell your team at the half about their performance in the first half?
Well, we got to rebound the ball better, but we got to defend them better overall. They beat us off the dribble a number of times. They're getting to the rim. Now, we've taken away their three-point shooting, or they haven't really got going from behind the line, but they're beating us inside the line. So we got to do a better job guarding the ball. Offensively, we're not bad. We're not bad. But we just got to guard them a little bit better and have a little bit more pride in our man-to-man defense.
Good luck in the second half, Coach.
Dennis Smith starts on the floor here in the second half. 11 minutes played for a possible freshman of the year. Possible lottery pick. 4 turnovers. Never got into the flow with a couple of fouls. Grizzlies tries to back down. Anya rolls it off.
Now, one of the keys for NC State was to take away the 3-ball, but it spread out their defense. It's allowed Montana to get points in the paint.
Quickly, we are tied once again. That is our 6th tie of the day. We've had 11 lead changes.
And going with another mid-range pull-up jumper.
Moorhead hasn't been very offensive today. That one doesn't even reach the rim.
Well, Moorhead is a 3-point specialist, but he hasn't got any good looks.
Another mid-ranger there for Torin Dorn. Comes from a family of actually Tar Heels. Dad played football there, the NFL. His brother's playing football at UNC.
And Miles, the brother, playing for the arch enemy.
How about Walter Wright for 3 now? Quick pace here to begin this second half. That's something that NC State wants.
Their team is best in transition as they continue to struggle from outside the arc.
Markel Johnson, who was a spark in the first half.
And think about this, you had to make some adjustments because Rowan Maverick, one of their better 3-point shooters, out with a concussion. We may see him later on in this tournament. He's going through the protocol now. And the bigs inside, Capita, Yurt 7 not with him today.
Pretty little fadeaway there for Torin Dorn. He's got all 4 pack points here in the second half. If NC State wins this, they've got tomorrow off. And they'll get the winner of tonight's game between 22nd ranked Creighton and Washington State, which would give Rowan an extra day to get cleared from that concussion protocol.
Well, Lopez with a little offense by accident as Chris Loviak got tied up in there, and nice move by Lopez to get open with a 12-foot jumper.
Now Moorhead with a hand in the face to Dennis Smith.
The Wolfpack continuing to struggle from the 3-point line. And no double on the post. They lock out on the 3-point shooters.
And they'll get fouled down low against Abu. Part of the new emphasis with the touching underneath. I mean, you can really go that simple. There's virtually no contact now.
Well, you can arm bar, but once he faces, you have to drop the arm bar as a defender.
Last year was the big rule change. You can do it every 2 years in the NCAA. This year, just a couple of slight modifications. Now here's Rory over Torin Dorn. Montana has yet to really find its rhythm here in the second half, just that Lopez bucket.
And one of the big changes, the coaches were giving back a live ball timeout on a made basket. Therefore, to avoid a 5-second inbounds call. And that was a good change.
Quickly, end to end. Walter Wright draws the foul. That's going against Markel Johnson. I think he's the fastest guy we've seen end to end today.
Well, he has speed in the open court, and then the ability to twist his body contort it and still have great body control and concentration on the finish. He didn't finish that one, but he has earlier in the this game in the first half.
And he's been fearless. He's gone in against Anya, and he's gone in against Abu. All 5'10" of them.
Waterbury, Connecticut, Walter Wright, 5'10" senior. By way of Snow College, he ends up a Grizz, Montana.
Here's Torin Dorn now. Also checking back into the game is Darius Hicks. There's the three for Dennis Smith, his second of the day.
Well, excellent ball movement by the Wolfpack. Looking around the perimeter, and Smith gets it. Open look. His second triple of the day.
And the team second. Here's Lopez once again. Big size advantage, but can't finish over Smith. Big thing for Smith, as Mark Gottfried said to us yesterday, just let the game come to him. All the talent in the world, but still a freshman.
That's trying to slow down, trying to push the action. A lot of hype for that young man. Sometimes there's pressure to live up to it. Now look at the ball movement here. He's back around, and Smith pulling the line. You can see he has excellent form. 6'3", good size. This will be an excellent tournament for Dennis Smith Jr. He's going to get 3 games here in 4 days.
Three freshmen on the floor right now. 5 seconds on the shot clock. Johnson hesitates, drives, and rolls it off.
Now the player that's been quiet for the Wolfpack has been Terry Henderson, their leading scorer coming into this game. He's just got 4 today on 1 of 7 shooting.
Well, maybe this is him. No, Dorn all the way in. Walter Wright backed out, let him go.
Dorn has got a lot of his shots in transition. You've got to meet him at the point of attack and get him stopped. Henderson, a quiet night.
Samuelson spins. That's a good finish over Dorn.
Well, again, Travis Curry using his forwards to post up. Not necessarily going to Chris Lobiak, their center. Post up the forwards.
Off the foot of Henderson, out of bounds. Mark Gottfried stressed defense, pride in that man-to-man defense. So far, so good. Turnover leads to points for Dorn and a 1-point lead. Great job by our crew to find that wonderful shot, one of many around the island of St. Thomas. 2 different docks for cruise ships. Coming up next, join us from the Gridiron in the Queen City when Tommy Tuberville's Cincinnati Bearcats play host to the Memphis Tigers, presented by Geico. Only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.
Now Montana with a 13-4 lead in bench points. NC State have only used 7 players. So we said they're down 3 because of various reasons, concussions, ineligibility. So one of the keys now for Mark Gottfried was to manage those minutes and manage his bench.
That fouls against Dorn. They only have 8 available to them. They've played 7. Sean Kirk, the odd man out right now.
And Darius Hicks, 7 minutes he logged.
And Hicks is on the floor now. It's a big opportunity for Hicks because of the guys who aren't here. And now he goes and sits back down. Because of the guys who aren't here, it's a chance for him to show he belongs in the rotation once this team is at full strength.
And Mark Gottfried mentioned that. This is a chance for some other players to develop, to step forward, open the door for an opportunity. Then they have to step in and prove themselves. Well, Johnson at the point, Dennis Smith Jr. at the off guard spot. But Terry Henderson's got to get going. They need some points out of Henderson. Came in averaging 17 a game.
Didn't want to launch from the wing. Here he is again. Passes one down to Dennis Smith. Pretty short.
Now that ball never entered the three-point arc. It went around the perimeter the entire possession. And that's just what Travis DeCure wanted. He said, we got to have them make 4 or 5 passes, play that gap defense, and keep them out of the lane.
And this one's against Dorn once again underneath.
A great look. Travis DeCure and his game plan has really worked almost to perfection here. Other than the first couple minutes, they got some penetration.
I think you're seeing why Travis DeCure is so highly regarded on the national scene. He's the first to admit they're outmanned, they're undersized. They don't have the athletes that are in the white jerseys, but here we are tied.
Well, everything in practice was gap defense. Get in the gap, make the driver drive into another defender, and don't turn it over.
Yeah, that's the big thing. Markel Johnson had 3 steals in the first half. Knocked that one down to Smith for the lead.
Value the basketball.
Right, quick step around B.J. Anya.
Boy, left B.J. Anya standing still.
Walter Wright is fun to watch. Anya can't back his way down on Chris Lovick. Now it's the Pack who are using most of this 30-second shot clock.
Well, they're faking the double. Double comes and leaves, and Anya's a bit confused on whether they should pass it back out or make a move.
Strong offensive board for a boo, and it earns him a trip to the line.
So what Montana's doing on the block is they're keeping Anya guessing about right. He'll change his direction, put it in overdrive, then use the rim to protect against the big man shot blocker.
18 now for Wright, who came into the day 1 for 11 and 4 total points in their first 2 games.
And B.J. Anya had 73 blocks last season. See how Wright was able to skate around him and avoid the block.
Now using that left hand. Floats it up there for 20 points in a tie game.
Oh, that was sweet. In attack mode, Walter Wright gave it up, got it back, took it right down Main Street.
B.J. Anya shook his head no. He didn't want the ball down there. He didn't have the position. So once again, stays on the perimeter. Here's the drive from Johnson.
Well, again, you look at all those gray jerseys packed in the paint.
Anya goes right into the chest of Chris Lovick.
Well, I give Chris Lovick some guts on that one because he stood in there longer than I would have.
He took one on the nose in the first half.
That's the big man. He sees the opening. Here he comes.
Senior out of DC, active ACC leader in blocks. But he needs a bounce back year too. He kind of took a bit of a step back last year.
Oh, he's really worked on his free throws. Last year, just 57%. You see now he's got a little rhythm to it. Nice soft touch.
6 out of 8 on the year, so that work's paid off. Third game of a 4-game opening round at the U.S. Virgin Island Paradise Jam. Winners already today. St. Joseph's, Ole Miss behind a tournament record 41 from DeAndre Burnett.
And Godfrey's put his team back in a zone look.
Johnson got a hand on that one. That is an active freshman.
Well, Montana did not recognize the change in defenses and never got the offense rebooted.
Here it's Dennis Smith, nothing but nets.
Oh, that's a big time move there. Rise up, knock it down.
Neither team has held a lead larger than 5. Mirroring our Ole Miss Oral Roberts game earlier today. Now a deflection from Smith.
Well, the zone defense, Montana has not adjusted the last 2 possessions.
Hello, Markel Johnson.
freshman out of Cleveland, Ohio, Markel Johnson.
Largest lead of the game. The unsung hero today for the Wolfpack, Markel Johnson. One of the best freshman classes in the country, Smith Johnson. Hey, Kevin, they said he doesn't like to shoot. He can be much more of an offensive threat. He's been open underneath and passed it up a couple of times today.
Well, he reclassified. He was going to be in the class of 2017, but came out early. He just turned 18 years old, so maybe he's kind of deferring to the older players. But Markel Johnson, a freshman out of Cleveland, Ohio. We've seen the talent and the explosiveness from number 11 there in the white jersey.
Look at his line. 3 assists, no turnovers, a block, a steal, 6 points.
And he stepped in the first half and took over that point position when Dennis Smith picked up his second foul. That timeout came at a great time for Travis DeCoeur, as that he has to solve this zone defense that the Wolfpack have come out here in the last couple possessions.
Rising up and knocking it down. Saeed Pridgett, who's been quiet this half.
Well, Pridgett, he looked off the defender and then drove right in the gap. And that's an excellent move by a freshman.
Dorn, that's a 3 and a slam. I thought his foot was on the line, but Abu changed all of it anyway.
Well, Abu with 118 offensive rebounds last year. That one made a statement.
Nice find there from Walter Wright. Moorhead doesn't have the finish.
Now Moorhead been off mark today. One of those three-point shooters that Montana has.
It's a critical juncture right now for the Grizz.
It is. That's a good point there. This is one of those points where you got to stay in here as Wolfpack making a run.
16 points now for Malik Abu, matching Dorn for a team high. Dennis Smith knocks it to himself. And we got the foul after the Euro step there from Dennis Smith. The lead has extended, largest of the day. You may have seen it as we were going to break. As good as Walter Wright has been today, interesting spot here. Timeout on the floor, there's Wright in the middle of that huddle.
And Dennis Smith having a few words. Coach Godfrey trying to settle his guys down.
Kevin, I'll say this, seeing it again, it did not look intentional. He just seemed to be in the wrong place at the wrong time, happened to get bumped.
Little bump back. Cooler heads prevailed. But this NC State team, they went to that matchup zone. Montana has not been able to solve the puzzle. They've been able to build an 8-point lead after that changeup. And remember, Mark Godfrey in the first half said, when Monica was in the huddle, we're going to go man-to-man. Good coach. Made a change in the second half, found a matchup zone that's been very successful for the Wolfpack.
Other than Wright, the Wolfpack have clamped down defensively. As a team, Montana's hovering around 40% this half.
They ended the first half at 57%. And a lot of that was those mid-range post-ups and great ball movement around the perimeter. And now this length in the zone is really bothering Montana.
Talented freshman Pridgett. Good looking pass in there to Chris Lovick, who has the finish.
Well, that's where the soft spot is in the zone, right below the free throw line. Chris Lovick, little flash post, and a nice finish.
The arena is starting to fill up with fans from Creighton. They've got the next game against Washington State. I get the sense that the Creighton fans who are here they're getting behind NC State almost as though they want to play NC State.
They're feeling kind of proud right now for that win over the Badgers at the CenturyLink. Boy, that was a rocking house. I watched that Tuesday night.
You want to talk about freshmen for NC State. How about the big man for Creighton? Patton.
Well, Justin Patton out of Omaha North High School.
Smith skips one over there to Dorn. Abu begging for it. And here's what Gottfried wants. Let it come to Dennis Smith.
When you see that gap defense by Montana.
Entry pass, double came, doesn't matter. Back to a 10-point lead and a chance for 11.
Malik Abu. That's a quiet 18 points. Well, he got away with a little travel there.
Thought so too. There have been interesting conversations between he, as you pointed out, likes to call himself the beardless James Harden, and Dennis Smith, who prides himself on his defense. So Smith, he can't handle the whole James Harden thing. He likes Chris Paul. He patterns himself after Paul.
Yeah, Dennis Smith, they were telling us he watched deep. When he watches the game, he looks for defense.
That right there shows you the maturity of a freshman. How many freshmen come in with the accolades that he has, and he wants defensive clips of Chris Paul.
You look at that stat line, Malik Abu, 19 points. He's 7-8 from the free line, 7 rebounds. It's been a quiet 19.
I agree. Dennis Smith has 15.
He's had to log 30 minutes because there is no front line backups.
Freshman out of Oakland here, Saeed Pridgen. 5th best prospect in all of Northern California. He's going to be a star, they hope, in Missoula.
Well, if you're at Montana, you got to get a steal recruiting. And Travis DeCure got a steal on that young man, Saeed Pridgen.
Smith, that zone was late getting out to him. That was Pridgen. It rolls over the glass, so we have a timeout on the floor. NC State beginning to seize control, can sense the semifinals on Sunday. One semifinal is already set. It'll be Ole Miss and St. Joe's. Next semifinal is yet to be determined. Sunday night, Paradise Jam continues here on CBS Sports Network, live from the U.S. Virgin Islands. Semifinals at 6 and 8:30 Eastern, ahead of Monday night's consolation and championship games, only on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. If you missed it earlier, Ole Miss 41 points, 9 threes from DeAndre Burnett, the transfer from Miami. Both of those are Paradise Jam records. That helped a little bit for Ole Miss, getting by Oral Roberts in overtime.
Well, Burnett put on a show.
Now, meanwhile here, we talked about that bottom box that Travis DeCure is going to look at after the game. They led in all of those statistics at the half, and almost all of them have flipped back to NC State now.
Well, in the second half, points off turnovers, it's 8-1 for the Wolfpack. Fast break points, 6-0 for NC State.
All of that has started with what Gottfried preached at the half, defense. Just have some pride in it.
And that matchup zone really giving Montana problems. It's taken away the three-point, and it's taken away the penetration of Walter Wright.
Markel Johnson now for 3. I'm telling you, he can be a scorer for this team when needed.
Well, this is a tournament where you get your identity, players step up, get confidence. We're seeing it happen before our eyes for Markel Johnson.
Coming back the other way now. That's on G. Feller. Another look at Johnson's three.
Good patience. Bring it back to the weak side as that defense shifts. And we knew that Montana was going to give up the three ball and pack the lane. Markel Johnson has stepped up and taken advantage.
Johnson had 6 points in the first 2 games for the Wolfpack. He has 9 here today and has filled up the box score.
And what Mark Godfrey has done, he's put the ball in his hands, let him run the point. You've got Dennis Smith running the wing on the baseline.
Smith blows by on the closeout, then throws it into his bench.
Right church, threw it to the wrong view.
Johnson now checking Walter Wright, one of the few Pack guys who's been able to stay in front of him. Kick out, clean look. Anya cleans it up.
Lopez, he knows he's not going to better look than that. Shaking his head on the way down court. He's still talking to himself. He would like to have that shot back.
Percentage-wise, the best shooter on the team. Nice find, and Smith has the finish.
And who delivered it? The freshman, Markel Johnson, with the dime. Freshman to freshman.
Rory, there's the putback. That's a little bit easier for Lopez.
And the zone defense, that's one of the weaknesses, being the ability to block out. Lopez is right down the lane, gets the easy tip in. Still you got a 12-point lead here by NC State. Montana's got to make some stops and solve the defense at the other end.
4 seconds on the shot clock. 2. Markel Johnson. Had the sense that was going to go in, because why not? The day he's had.
I had the same thought. Do you just see the confidence? Markel Johnson, there's his teammates going by, patting him, he's smiling on his face. It's a great thing about these tournaments. You get to take your teams together for a long period of time. You're going to bond.
Oh, look at Walter Wright. Another easy finish. This one from Samuelson, the son of a former Grizzly great. His dad, Sean, not just a great, he was a teammate of Travis DeCure.
They got Markel Johnson barking out signals.
Dorn bodies his way in. There's Lopez to clean up the miss.
Big possession here for the Grizz. Things back down to single digits.
Goes right into Walter Wright's hands. Got his own miss, the 5'10 guard. In space in the zone. Rory rolls it off.
A bit of panic now in Montana's game.
And NC State will take the timeout. Travis DeCure, 4:08 to figure this out. Trailing by 10.
Welcome back to the U.S. Virgin Islands Paradise Jam, where the Wolfpack have a 10-point lead over the Grizz. I'm here with the president of Basketball Travelers. They're the organizers of the Paradise Jam. And the game coming up next features Nels Hawkinson's son playing for Washington State against Creighton. You must be so excited.
He was a ball boy when he was 4 years old till 12 years old, and he comes back 9 years later, has not been back. And he the mop handle used to be taller than him. Now he's 6'10", 250 pounds, and he was a finalist for the Kareem Abdul-Jabbar Player of the Year award last year. But they got a tough task to try to beat Creighton tonight.
They sure do, and these stands are sure filling up, guys. It's going to be a great one.
Monica Nels, as you know, he's kind of like a legend. He could be mayor here.
When I talked to Josh Hawkinson, his son, last night, and Nels paid him $100 for 2 weeks of service. He said, I was working for less than $1 a game, is what Josh figured out when he did the math.
But look where it got him. It got him the work ethic to come back as one of the best big men in the country and play here.
He was selling T-shirts. He was mopping the floor. He was the ball boy. Told Josh he needs to look into some child labor laws in the Virgin Islands.
Apparently that beach zone, which is where we both want to be right now, that was Josh's idea. So he's got that creative mind. Oh, it was Nell's idea. Still a good idea. Runs in the family.
Well, Monica's down there the whole time. There she is underneath the basket in the beach zone, having a good time. We're over working at the half court.
Life.
What do you sign up for that job at?
We can switch. We'll get her over here. Semifinals. Go hang out by the tiki bar in the lifeguard chair.
Hey guys, you know, I'm hanging out in the beach zone. There's a tiki bar over here. I'm taking drink orders. You know, what can I get you? A little Cruisin' Confusion, painkiller. Talk to me. I got you covered.
You're the local. I'm gonna defer to you. Take your advice.
Okay, but don't say I didn't warn you.
That's dangerous. Monica, a former collegiate basketball player herself. Montana State.
Montana State, we weren't supposed to mention that on air. And then came here and played for the University of Virgin Islands.
Big rivalry football game this weekend, Montana State. 11-point lead now for NC State, trying to punch a ticket into that semifinals. Wright's gone cold here.
What really happened in the second half, the Grizz, after a hot first half, 0 for 8 from the arc. And that's what Mark Godfrey said. We're going to take away the 3 ball and make Montana make tough twos. Now it took a zone defense for it to happen here in the second half.
In the first half, Montana, which is a 3-point shooting team, Krislovic has fouled out here, they only took 5. Now they're being forced into more, and they're tough. They're contested.
Well, they took 5 because North Carolina State had spread their defense out, but think about how Walter Wright got inside that defense in the first half. Mark Godfrey goes to that zone and kind of plugs up the middle. Walter Wright has struggled to get to the basket and has not been able to finish as effectively here in the second half. Excellent change-up of defenses by Mark Godfrey.
Abu inching up towards a career high. He's 1 off it. He's got 21 now.
And they stay in that matchup zone with a point matchup.
It's all started really by taking away Walter Wright, hasn't it?
Yes.
Without him being able to get inside and initiate the offense, they've become stagnant.
And the length of the Wolfpack is closed down his driving lanes. High post area is a soft spot in the zone, and Montana has not been able to find that effectively.
Dennis Smith had that one knocked out of his hands. 11 seconds on the shot clock.
And then, of course, we've talked about this, the freshman, Markel Johnson, coming in and giving a huge lift for North Carolina State.
Every recruiting service had this freshman class as a top 5, top 10. They were all really top 5. Here's Henderson, been quiet today. Now you're hearing from the leading scorer.
When you talk about the freshman class, you've got Terry Henderson, the transfer from West Virginia, and Torin Dorn, the transfer from NC Charlotte, coming with some experience.
There's a transfer himself out of Oregon, Rory.
The Wolfpack have really shut down him in the second half.
Exactly what Mark Godfrey told Monica coming out of the locker room. Have some pride in our man-to-man defense. He said his offense is okay, doing fine. They've heeded the advice.
Yeah, Rory here, that's a little kickback, but that's his 9th point of this contest. And he came in averaging 15.5. Well, excellent job by NC State to identify the leading scorer and make tough contested shots for Ahmad Rory.
Couple more there for Smith.
Boy, Smith has bounced back. I mean, it was a tough start for him. Picked up the second foul, but look at his line now. He's got 17 points. Perfect from the free throw line, 7 of 7. 3 assists.
13 points here in the second half. Couldn't get the rhythm in the first half because of those fouls.
Well, I really think it helped that Markel Johnson came in and took that point position, took a little pressure off Dennis Smith, got him over the wing so he could catch the ball, make some plays on the catch rather than trying to go off the dribble. And there's the freshman again at the free throw line.
NC State won a recruiting battle with Louisville to get Johnson and Raleigh.
Coaches talk about this tournament. It's an early season tournament. You're still in November, trying to get some team chemistry, see who's going to perform under the bright lights. Mark Godfrey's found a gym here. Markel Johnson.
Now it's Abu, who has the task of shutting down Wright. At least he got it out of his hands. There's Rory, same spot, same result. Ahmad Rory for 3. Well, timeout on the floor, minute 41 to go. Spot in the semifinals, 140 away. Minute 40 separates NC State from a 3-0 start. After a below 500 year last year, there were some fans after Cat Barber left and Abu puts his name into the draft, and so does Anya, just to feel the waters. There were folks around Raleigh who were getting kind of anxious, nervous. Mark Gottfried said not him, never him.
Well, 4 straight trips to NCAA before last year, and then just the outstanding recruiting class. And we haven't seen the full strength of this team.
The strength from Abu is there. A new career high. Look out, Dennis Smith.
Taking on water, Montana.
I think it's the first time tonight Mark Gottfried has smiled. Even over Johnson. There's Walter Wright's first bucket in a long time. He's got 22.
Much needed drink of water. Long dry spell for Walter Wright.
Oh, it's showtime.
Well, and Montana's had to spread out their defense here to try to get some traps, and it just opened up the back line. And the athletic ability and speed of NC State.
They are out here having some fun now as this clock winds down. It'll be NC State that advances to the semifinals on Sunday. They'll play the winner of Creighton and Washington State. Rory's final line will look nice with 9 points here in the last couple of minutes. Nice little handshake there from Wright. Dennis Smith.
Yeah,
Wolfpack trailed it at the half. Dominated in the second half for Gottfried.
Well, they had altercation earlier, Smith and Walter Wright. That was nice to see those two give a little hug.
We'll take a timeout. We will get you back here to the U.S. Virgin Island Paradise Jam. Wrap things up. Fun first day here from St. Thomas. The blue shirts of the Creighton crowd starting to fill up the arena here. Still wearing red, Mark Gottfried, a little bit happier now and with Monica Janicki.
Coach, I actually saw you smile on the bench there with those last 2 dunks. Talk about how aggressive your defense was, and what are you pleased about?
Well, that was the difference. You know, you and I talked at halftime. We didn't guard them very well. We used our matchup zone a little bit more. I thought that helped us some. But we contained the dribble a little bit better. Didn't get beat off the dribble as much. And then offensively, I thought our young guys played pretty well. You know, we got a lot of young guys. This was a good game for our team. You know, Montana's a good team, so this was a good challenge, good test.
Great job. Congratulations on the win. We'll see you on Sunday.
Thank you very much.
Guys, back to you.
Kevin, that's what these early season tournaments are about. You get the good test, you get the challenge and the push, and how you bounce back from it.
And helping two teams that have never met before, you don't get a chance to do that, but at the Paradise Jam, you get some great matchups.
Abu, a new career high, 25 points, nearly got a double-double with 8 boards.
But he was 8 for 10 from the field because of plays like that. That's a high percentage shot, but then his ability to step out and knock down the jumper. But this guy's a pogo stick, man. He lives above the rim. 25 points and 8 rebounds for Malik Abu.
3 of the 4 tickets into the semifinals are already stamped. NC State will await the winner of the final game of the day, Washington State and 22nd ranked Creighton, fresh off their upset win over Wisconsin. In fact, they were here in St. Thomas, down from Omaha less than 24 hours after that win over the Badgers. So here's their next game coming up, and the winner of this one will get the Wolfpack of NC State. Impressions here of the first day, Kevin?
Well, overtime, Ole Miss, Oral Roberts, what a great game that was, and Oral Roberts had a chance to win it in regulation. And the performance that we saw from DeAndre Burnett, 41 points, unbelievable.
Burnett was great, so was Markel Johnson, so was Walter Wright. Coming up next, college football presented by Geico, Memphis at Cincinnati from Nippert Stadium in Cincinnati. For Kevin Lehman, Monica Jonigan, and our entire CBS Sports Network crew, great job today. Darren Goldwater. For scores, highlights, features, and more, go to CBSSports.com. In association with Basketball Travelers, this has been a presentation of CBS Sports Network, the 24-hour home of CBS Sports.